Good morning and welcome to our annual Remembrance services. In this year of COVID, we have so much to remember, and unfortunately, we will not gather in the huge crowds that were here almost like 100 years ago when our troops faced the Spanish flu and they were asked to wear a mask and to move separately away from one another. This condition is not just ours today, but has been the history of brave Canadians. And today we ask each and every one of you to show the same love and respect that our troops have shown over the years as they offer their lives by following the simple command of wear a mask and separate by 2 meters. We may save lives. We must always remember that our brave troops sacrificed their lives, their employment, and risked their lives for this great country. You too can be part of this and show your heroism. Sergeant Major,
Sir.
march on the colors.
Sir. Color guard. Anthem. Left. Left of the colors. Colors. Color guard. Colors. 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 Color one left. Color color left. One. Honor guard! Halt! Honor guard will advance inwards. Turn! Sir.
Sergeant Major, our national anthem, General Salute.
Honor guard, prepare for general salute. Men in their arms. Present arms.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Honor guard. Halt. Arms.
Let us seek God's blessings as we continue to remember our soldiers. O God of truth and justice, we hold before you those whose memory we cherish, the soldiers who fought for our freedom, and those whose names we will never know. Help us to lift our eyes above the torment of this broken world and grant us the grace to pray for those who wish us harm. As we honor the past, may we put our faith in the future. For you are the source of life and hope, now and forever. Amen.
Sergeant Major,
Sir.
prepare for the silence.
Sir. Prepare for last post. Escort the colors. Present. Arms. Rifle bearers, slope, arm.
Sergeant Major, have the parade stand at ease.
Sir. Color bearers, order, colors. Men under arms, order, arms.
O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. Under the shadow of thy throne, thy saints have dwelt secure. Sufficient is thine arm alone, and our defense is sure. Before the hills in order stood, or earth received her frame. From everlasting thou art God, to endless years the same. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, be thou our God while troubles last, and our eternal home.
Stand easy.
A reading from the Gospel of John, the 15th chapter, verses 12 to 17. Jesus said, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving you these commands, so that you may love one another." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row and row that mark our place. And in the sky, the lark, still bravely singing, flies, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, we felt dawn, we saw sunset glow, we loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the Po. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. On this very special Remembrance Day, to respect the wishes of Her Honor the Mayor, Her Worship, we have maintained our distance, and all of those who have wished to lay poppies and wreaths in memory are unable to come and lay them today themselves. But I know that each of you will appreciate, as I read the name, the sincerity and love that each of these people bring from their institutions. As we today read the names, please remember their love for those whom they honor. The Government of Canada, the Honorable Karina Gould, Member of Parliament, we remember them. The Government of Ontario, Jane McKenna, Member of the Provincial Parliament, in honor of all the fallen. The City of Burlington, Mary Ann Mead Ward, Mayor, lest we forget. Our Silver Cross Mother, Beverly McCraw, in memory of Sergeant Sean Eads, CD, and all our lost loved ones. For the Canadian Armed Forces, the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry, we do remember. The Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 60, Matt McPherson, President, we will remember them. The Halton Navy Veterans Association, we remember. Veterans Affairs Canada, the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 60 Ladies Auxiliary, Linda Flair, President, indeed in remembrance. The Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 60 Color Guard, Warrant Officer Murray Sutherland, Commander, we remember. Number 2379, RHLI Burlington, Army Cadets, Captain Jody Mitchell, Commanding Officer, lest we forget. The Mohawk Squadron, Royal Canadian Air Cadets, Captain Denise Chantiun May, Commanding Officer, we remember. The Iron Duke, which was our first home for the Legion in Burlington. The Iron Duke Burlington Sea Cadet Corps, Lieutenant Navy Angus Patton, Commanding Officer, lest we forget. The Burloak Navy Veterans Association, we remember. The 48th Highlanders of Holland Pipes and Drums, Jim Matz, Honorary Band Member, we do remember. Bay Gardens Cremation, Funeral and Memorial Center, lest we forget. Blythe Academy Burlington, Mr. Stanley Cohen, teacher Mela Cowell, student, in memory of all who served. The Brant Arts Dispensary and Home Health Care, lest we forget. Brant Lodge, number 663, in memory of our fallen brothers and sisters. Beta Sigma Phi, Barbara Secord and Carrie Ashton, in memory of Tilly Moore. Burlington Central High School, where a plaque hangs in memory of all those who have fallen. From the students of Burlington Central High School, lest we forget. Burlington Chamber of Commerce, Burlington Conservative Association, Ross Noble, President, lest we forget. Burlington Federal Liberal Association, Matthew Powell, President, they also never forget. Burlington Lodge number 165, in memory of our fallen brethren. Burlington Historical Association, in remembrance of those who served. Burlington Lions Club, Burlington Hyundai, Vincent Jones, in memory of Corporal Brian Pinkson, August 30, 2010, Afghanistan. The 1st Royal Newfoundland Regiment, lest we forget. PFC Cole Jones, 2nd Royal Canadian Regiment. Burlington Professional Firefighters Association, Paul Cunningham, in memory of all those who have served. Our Canadian Condominium Institute, Joe Getton, Board Member. Golden Horseshoe Chapter, we remember. Canada's National Firearms Association, Charles Zack, Executive Director, remembering those who fought for our freedom. QP Local 2723, Burlington Transit, Bertie Ridsdale, lest we forget. Commissionaires Hamilton, Jessica and Paul Hunningham, we remember. Dee Dee Davis, in memory of Flight Lieutenant Fred Davies, DFC, RCAF, and Prisoner of War, World War II, 405 Squadron Pathfinders. Dodsworth and Brown Funeral Home, Tom Flannery, Manager. Indeed, they never forget. Friends of Freeman Station, in remembrance of those who served and still serve in war and peace. The Halton Regional Police Association, Sue Redmond, we will remember them. Halton Regional Police Service, number 3 District, Stephen Turner, Chief of Police, lest we forget. The Halton District School Board, they also remember. Halton Elementary Teachers Oecta, Halton Catholic Teachers, we remember them. Halton Secondary Teachers, OSSTF, Kelly McCarthy, Staff Officer, Kim Darby, retired, to thank all of the veterans who were educators. Bruce and Laura Hillier, in memory of Henry James Hillier, 75th Battalion, Royal Canadian Highlanders, World War I, killed at Vimy Ridge. Jan Hillier and Laura Hillier, granddaughter, in memory of Flight Lieutenant Ronald Blunsdon, RAF Dam Buster. Knox Presbyterian Church, lest we forget. Teresa Kennedy, in memory of my family members who served. Lakeview Chapter, number 79, Order of the Eastern Star, Beverly McGraw, Worthy Matron, Silver Cross Mother, in memory of Sergeant Sean Eads, CD, lest we forget. L3 Harris, Robert Martin, Supervisor, L3 Harris members. Vicki Mix, daughter, and Heather Maddox, daughter, in loving memory of our parents, Bill and Peggy Maddox. Pearl and Pine Retirement Residents, Barbara Sutherland, we will remember them. Ruth Roberts, sister niece, in memory of Sergeant Ronald Roberts, RCAF 1943-45, Private Roy Roberts, Canadian Army active 1944-46, Corporal Harold Roberts, Canadian Army active 42-46, Mary Roberts Richard, Small Arms Ammunition Factory worker, Toronto, World War II. The Rotary Club of Burlington, Nancy Gilbert, President. We thank Merchant Marine Seaman Jim Parker for his World War II service. The Rotary Club of Burlington North, Ralph Sprague, President, in memory of those who gave their lives for all of us. SB Partners, John Chisholm Partner, in memory of those who bravely served, lest we forget. Smith's New Funeral Homes, Wendy and Don Smith, in memory of able-bodied seaman Elwin Cuthbertson, RN. Top Hat Marching Orchestra, who also never forget. The Halton Region Paramedics. The Trinity Christian School, in memory of those who suffered so much for our freedom. Wellington Square Lodge number 725, to all those who gave all, lest we forget. Dr. Robert Winfield, in memory of Sergeant F.C. Wingfield's DCM MSM Cyclist Battalion 1914 to 1915. The United Way Halton and Hamilton, Daniela Weigel, in honor of all those who fought for our freedom. And lastly, our Burlington dads. And I want to say, they come to honor and respect the memory of all our fallen heroes, but we thank them for generously during this COVID period for taking out the poppies to all the stores so that you could receive them. We thank them. I apologize if any we have missed, but if there are those of you who wish to lay a wreath sometime, don't hesitate to drop by this wonderful monument and testimony anytime on your own quietly. And remember that our dead are with us every day of the year.
It's my privilege to be here to share the Remembrance Day thought. We know by now this year is unlike any other. From the last November, we have so many memorable events in the world that have altered our life. The Australian wildfire, Prince Harry and Meghan quitting royal family, Brexit, COVID-19 outbreak, Kobe Bryant's death, Black Lives Matter movement, an explosion in Lebanon's capital, California's wildfire, the election of Joe Biden as the President of the United States. As a result of all these events, our lives have been altered in one way or the other. As we gather to honor the lives of our soldiers who gave up their lives in the past and those who continue to safeguard our freedom, we stop. We stop to remember them, we stop to celebrate them, and we stop to honor them. Remembrance Day, is it just a thought, or does it invite us to do more? For sure, it is a noble thing that we are able to stop and acknowledge their contribution. But I want you to reflect with me with a follow-up question. Is it good enough just to remember? A Remembrance Day, is it just an end in itself? On an intellectual level, we know that this should not be an end. But in reality, what else do we do? So how can we, the present generation, make the change. Our dogs remember us, our cats remember us, so what? I'm not sure if the dog and cat can do anything beyond remembering, but we can if we will. We could create a new family, we could create a new society, we could create a new nation where justice, peace, and truth can become the foundation of all that we do. We each of us need to take time to ask ourselves, do I talk about justice, peace, and brotherhood in my family, in my school, in my workplace, in my society? The soldiers whom we remember today did not fight as a white, black, brown, and yellow. They did not stand as Christians, Hindus, Muslims, or believers, non-believers. Irrespective of their differences, they stood as one for a cause. They stood for justice. They fought for peace. They wanted the truth to prevail. They had the common vision for the future. We need to acknowledge that together we stand, divided we fall. We need to vow to ourselves that the freedom that was fought for, the peace that they longed for, is ours now to be protected. We should never allow any external sources to divide us. We need to promise ourselves that we would not allow any race, ethnicity, color, language, or anything to divide us. To gain what we have, there has been so much lost. The people have lost their father or mother, brother or sister, son or daughter, to give us a present. What contribution do we make for society and the future generation? Especially during this pandemic, how grateful are we to the present day heroes of our time? The ordinary people who bring the food to our table, the people who look after the sick, the people who care for the elderly in the senior homes. Is it good enough just to remember? Don't get me wrong, it is good to remember. But we cannot and should not just stop with remembering. As they fought, as they sought, as they gave up their life for the common good, we need to fight the war of our times. It can be in the form of justice for the race, justice for the lonely and abandoned, justice for the vulnerable of our times. We cannot change the past, but we can change the present and craft a new future. We need to hear what this Remembrance Day says to us. It is a summon, a call, a challenge to every one of us. Looked at another way, Remembrance Day is nothing less than a dare. Dare to be more loving, dare to be more caring, dare to be more longing for justice and righteousness. I want to conclude with a quote from the late President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, who said, "Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. Where there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. Where there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. Where there is order in the nation, there is a peace in the world." As we celebrate this Remembrance Day, let us strive to make this our reality. It all begins with each of us. May God bless our troops, may God bless our country, and may God bless each of you.
Loving Father, have mercy on your people and open our hearts to peace and love. Reward all who have died for their country and grant that Canada and all nations may continue to work for peace and justice. May God, our Creator, bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Sergeant Major, prepare for the King, the Queen.
Honor guard, attend, set. Escort to the colors, slope, arms. Color bearers, carry, colors. Escort to the colors, present, arms. Royal salute.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
Escort to the colors, slope, arms.
Sergeant Major, prepare to march off the colors.
Sir, honor guard will advance left and right. Turn. Honor guard will retire by the center. Quick, march.
I thank you for your attendance today at home and in your hearts, and I pray that God will be with us and will help us to cure this COVID plague that has faced us. But each of us can remember the sacrifice of our troops who left their home and left their industries and followed the rules to provide safety for this great country. We too have a chance to be heroes like those whom we honor today. God bless you all, and may the wishes of Branch 60 and all the veterans that we represent go with you.
Hello everyone, my name is Bob Ankrit. I'm the city liaison for the Royal Canadian Legion in Burlington. And on behalf of the veterans and their families, I'd like to thank all of those people that made this Day of Remembrance possible. You'll see most of their names at the credits at the end of this program, but before that happens, we have something very special. Sometimes when we think of Remembrance Day, we think of parades, we think of solemn presentations, we see elderly gentlemen and ladies lost in overcoats sitting on benches in the cold. Well, it's much more than that. In a few moments, you're going to hear a poem and see people present that same poem written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, which was written in 1915 during the Great War. The message from this poem is that life is very, very precious, and we must continue to fight to support service people and their families. You'll see in a few moments that this poem is being presented by a cross-section of Canadians. Clearly, we need to all remember and offer our thanks and support to our veterans, past, present, and future. Ladies and gentlemen, your Canada.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow.
Between the crosses, row on row,
that mark our place and in the sky.
The larks still bravely singing fly.
Scarce heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead. Short days ago,
We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow.
Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields.
Take up our quarrel with the foe.
To you from failing hands we
throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high.
If ye break faith with us who die,
We shall not sleep.
The poppies grow in Flanders.